Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Natalia Moczulska, and this is the news. This is an absolute scandal, a violation of all procedures, said Polish President Andrzej Duda, who commented on the illegal smuggling of migrants into Poland by German services. 2 such cases have already been documented. The question is, how many similar incidents we will hear about in the coming days. This was supposed to be just a one-off incident. On June 14th in Osinowo Dolne in West Pomerania, German police, in violation of the law, brought a family of 5 from Afghanistan from Germany and left them behind. At the time, our Western neighbors were explaining the incident to the deputy head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Administration, Maciej Duszczyk. The people who did it, meaning the policemen, are very inexperienced policemen, because the experienced ones are securing the euro today. They probably don't know the procedure and did what they did. So was it an accident at work and not a deliberate policy? Absolutely. Apparently, Germany has increasingly serious problems with inexperienced police officers. It turns out that a few days before Deputy Minister Duszczyk's statement, there was at least one more such incident. The daily Süddeutsche Zeitung described the situation on June 15th, when German police drove more than a dozen foreigners into our country across the bridge, connecting Frankfurt on the Oder River and Słubice. Polish President Andrzej Duda speaks of the scandal and compares the actions of our Western neighbors to migration pressure on the border with Belarus. Here is the border of the European Union and the Schengen zone with Belarus, and we have a duty to guard this border, and we guard not only Poland, but also the European Union. And over here we have a friendly border within the framework of the European Union, within the framework of the Schengen zone, which we do not guard in confidence. Meanwhile, someone is forcibly bringing and directing migrants into our territory. The government's response is limited to verbal protests. After the alleged conversation between Polish Prime Minister Tusk and Olaf Scholz, there is no trace in official communications. At the same time, the German Chancellor is signaling that border controls with Poland will continue for many more months. We will certainly continue the controls for a long time, because we want to and because we have to. The Polish border guard reports that more than 3,700 people have been turned back to Poland as a result of border controls from Germany. Most of them were supposed to be Ukrainian citizens. The problem is that these alleged Ukrainians have so far not been traced. I am searching for these people, but I have not found them yet. I've already searched for them a couple of times through all my channels, but the people I reached were people from the Middle East. That's how they declare their origin, and people from Central Asia. The Polish border is becoming more and more like a sieve. Almost every day, there are shocking media reports about the influx of illegal migrants. The district labor office near Radom and Grójec, among other places, illegally smuggled migrants into Poland. This is the influence of the PSL and Civic platform. More than 5,000 illegal immigrants. This is what no one is talking about, that such a circus is happening before our eyes. This is the minimal amount of illegal migrants smuggled into Poland by these madmen. They did it for money. All this is happening even before the 2026 Migration Pact comes into effect. The lack of a firm response to current events removes any illusions that the new government will be able to resist the massive influx of illegal migrants. This is also what the Migration Pact is supposed to address. After all, the Migration Pact is not about legal migration, it is about illegal migration and sharing the problem of Western Europe with Central and Eastern European countries. Solving Germany's problems in Tusk's narrative was supposed to be Poland's ticket to the European halls. We were supposed to agree to a series of solutions unfavorable to us in exchange for money from the National Reconstruction Plan, for example. The result is that we got only a drop of the total amount, and the rest of the money is still not in Poland's hands, while Germany is pursuing its agenda in Europe without much resistance. Maciej Struk, TV Republika. Europe is being battered by extreme weather with record high temperatures. Earlier today, Italians and tourists experienced temperatures of up to 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit as they visited famous sites in Rome. The heatwave Minos, named after the mythological king of Crete, son of Zeus and Europa, hit central and southern Italy. It's too hot. What is it like to work in this heat? It's tiring, but it has to be done. You have to keep your head wet and drink a lot. It's the only way. Today is a very hot day, and it has been like this almost all week. In fact, thousands of tourists stop here at the fountain. But Rome is beautiful, beautiful. If you look around, despite the heat, it's full of people. To visit the Eternal City's most famous monuments, tourists braved the high temperatures, filled water bottles, and sought shelter in the shade. When we were planning the trip, we didn't know it would be so hot, because it's not supposed to be like this at this time of year. Rome is Rome, though, and we will still enjoy it. It's much warmer now than in previous years, but we still enjoy it.
Water and patience as much as we can.
The thing is, I'm from Australia and she's from the UK, yeah? So I'm used to the heat, yeah, in summer. But to be honest, we don't really have anything planned. Maybe we'll go swimming in this kind of weather.
Yeah, it's very hot. But we weren't expecting it, but it's still enjoyable. Today we're going to the Colosseum and see how that's like, and then we're off to Palermo.
Forecasters say the sweltering conditions should ease at the end of the week, when temperatures are expected to drop with the arrival of thunderstorms. Spanish authorities are continuing their search for British teenager Jay Slater, who went missing while on vacation in Tenerife. Officers who have been searching for Slater for 5 days were joined on Thursday by a helicopter and rescue dogs. The missing 19-year-old was last heard of last Monday morning when he called a friend. He was attempting to make an 11-hour walk back to his accommodation after missing a bus. In the phone call, he reportedly told his friend he was desperate for a drink and only had 1% battery left on his phone. A team of experts searched the Rural de Teno Park in southern Tenerife, while search parties searched local footpaths. Footage released by the Guardia Civil showed teams on the ground searching in hilly terrain with dogs and a helicopter. The investigation showed the teenager was probably somewhere around the Masca Ravine in the wild, a forested area located above the island's shore. Taylor Swift fans were in high spirits as they arrived at London's Wembley Stadium earlier today, ahead of the singer's first scheduled show in the British capital. Taylor Swift is due to perform 8 shows at Wembley, which will attract nearly 700,000 fans in total, according to the London Mayor's office.
Welcome to the Eras Tour. This has been the most extraordinary experience of my entire life.
Armed with friendship bracelets and wearing sparkly outfits, the fans known as Swifties were eagerly looking forward to the evening's performance and finding out which of the singer's hits would make the set list. Aside from spending on tickets and travel, fans splashed out on glittery outfits and accessories to depict different musical eras of the 34-year-old's discography.
Yes, we've got bracelets. We spent a few nights doing these, so we've all got loads, trays, and yeah, it's just a super fun experience to do together.
I'm just looking forward to the whole show. I've seen bits on TikTok that have kind of like prepared me, but I've avoided the film, so there's still surprises for me. And then the surprise songs, yeah, it could be anything. No expectations. Like, yeah, I think it will just be amazing.
Good vibes. Like even just getting the tube here, like people were like saying have a nice time, and you could tell that like everyone's like just really nice to each other. And I think that's what I think makes it, I suppose, different to other concerts. It feels like there is a community, I guess.
Everyone's just so accepting and they're just loving the love for everyone, and there's no bad vibes.
Oh God. The music industry. She's completely taken over the entire music industry. It's been, well, I've been listening to her music since I was all the way down there. So to be here actually is just so unreal. It doesn't feel real until she comes out and she's just there.
Taylor Swift's billion-dollar Eras Tour has helped local economies since its United States tour started last year, although economists are generally skeptical that concert tours or big sporting events give more than a small boost to a country's economy. The star herself has spent time in the city in the past when she was dating British actor Joe Alwyn, even name-checking popular London spots in her music.
We're about to go on a little adventure together, and that adventure is going to span 17 years of music. How does that sound?
That's all for the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful evening.